Good evening. Many thanks for joining us live on QTV. You are watching QTV News, and I am Ajibintu Dwame. In tonight's top stories, TRRC commissioners, accompanied by two of ex-President Jammeh's former journalists, have visited alleged graveyards and killing sites in Fonyi. As part of efforts to address Gambia's appalling road traffic statistics, the National Road Parliament and the Ministry of Transport have held their first joint road safety forum. Nigeria's aviation minister and the Gambia's Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources have presided over the graduation ceremony of 29 officials who trained on meteorology. In international news, Nigeria's army chief and 10 other military officers were killed in a plane crash near the Kaduna International Airport on Friday evening. In sports news, Gambia judoka Fanjai has won a silver medal and secured an Olympic qualification ticket in the African Judo Championship in Dakar, Senegal. Those were our top stories for tonight. Do stay tuned for the news in detail. Commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission on Friday embarked on a tour of the NIA Detention Center in Tanje and suspected graveyards in Difonyes, accompanied by two journalists, Malik Jatta and Oya. Babu Kazi was with the team and he now reports.
The tour started at Tanje NIA Extension, where it was revealed that the late Solo Sandeng was buried and victims like Ndur Cham and others were detained before execution. The TRRC delegation were led to the site by jungler Omar Amadou Jallo alias Oya and Malik Jatta, who took the team to different areas where shooting and burials were allegedly done by Jammeh's hit squad. At the NIA Detention Center in Tanje, Chief Investigator and Forensic Expert Thomas Gomez shows us the place they exhumed Solo Sandeng's body.
We are in the complex of the SIS Coastal Command, and this is in Tanje. So exactly where we are now is this was where the late Solo Sandeng was buried and exhumed from. As you can remember, I think this was back in 2016 when he was buried here. It was precisely in the month of April, if I'm very much right. Later, a year later, we had to come here and exhume his remains. So the remains were successfully exhumed from here and taken to the morgue for further examination.
The team then proceeded to Santamba in Fonyi, where Omar Amadou Jallo alias Oya showed places he believed they buried two individuals suspected to be Tumani Jallo and Abdoulaye Gueye, who the Jammeh government accused of burning the APRC bureau a few months before the 2016 presidential elections. According to Oya, the duo were buried in a single hole, while the experts tried to dig to ascertain if there was indeed a hole. The convoy then continued to Tintimba firing range, where some of those accused of being part of the December 30th State House attack were buried. The team then headed to Bunubor, a village near to Kazamas, where similar graves were shown to the commissioners by jungler Malik Jatta, who told the commissioners that Daba Marena and many others like the West African migrants were killed and dumped in two different wells. The investigators, the lead counsel and some commissioners boarded a military vehicle en route to the wells. The commissioners and delegation then entered Kanilai, where they were taken to two different pools of alligators and crocodiles.
This is the famous crocodile or alligator pool inside the former president's palace in Kanilai, and it is alleged that people have been brought here and thrown inside this pool, which many denied. But this is what the TRRC is investigating right now, and there are every chances that this pool will be, the water will be taken out to see if there will be any remains found inside. But as you can see, there are not only crocodiles here, but alligators, of more than 200 species inside this 2-meter or 3-meter pool.
The commission went further inside Kanilai at a place where it is believed Alaji Sise and Mamour Job, two Gambian American soldiers, were killed and buried. Oya narrated to the commissioners what they did on that fateful night.
This was the area I identified because when we came first time, there was a tree around somewhere else there where there was a sort of a place they organized where they drive on top and chase monkeys. So it's where we took the spades and dig. Okay, but the distance at that time, then this road wasn't here. So we came through this way.
When you buried those guys, how deep was the grave?
Not knee level.
You guys were sorry, we missed the first part.
Yeah, defend yourself with the first part.
Mahmoud Sise and Ibrahim.
Okay, yeah. And those of us who were in here, what was your role in the burial of the people here who were brought in? What did you? What was your? You were only digging.
Yes, sir.
You didn't kill any one of them.
No.
And how many bodies did you?
There were two.
The final place visited in Kanilai was the former president's residence, where we found leftovers and a space with air conditioners all over, said to be James car park. Babu Karsi, Qtv News.
In other news, the Gambia is one of the worst countries when it comes to road traffic accidents, as we are ranked 4th globally. The National Youth Parliament, the Gambia, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, held its first National Youth Road Safety Forum.
According to the WHO, road traffic accident deaths in Gambia in 2019 reached 657, or 4.72% of total deaths. The age-adjusted death rate is 47.51% per 100,000 of population, ranks Gambia number 4 in the world. The National Youth Parliament believes that when the youths are empowered to take the lead in road safety advocacy, the frequent tragedies on our roads will be significantly reduced. The NYP conducted this forum based on these aspirations to address issues pertinent to the safety of people on our roads, particularly the youth. The National Youth Parliament has a long-standing history of policy advocacy. They contributed to the enactment of the Motor Traffic Act and validation of the National Road Safety Strategy 2020-2030. Omar Cham of the National Youth Parliament says the current state of our roads cannot be solved by one institution but requires collective action.
It requires concerted efforts of all of us, beginning from the ministry down to the National Youth Parliament, to SAPE, to the National Assembly, to the public, to the police, and every other stakeholder that is involved in this endeavor. I am delighted to note to you that the National Youth Parliament has registered enormous success when it comes to the campaign against road accidents, when it comes to giving people the platform to advocate against this nuance.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Mode KCC, accepts that there has been a significant rise in motor vehicle accidents and blames the road traffic system and road user attitudes for the frequent accidents.
In 2020 alone, the Gambia Police Force recorded 620 minor or non-injury, 349 serious injuries, 138 fatal road traffic accidents with significant damage to vehicles and properties.
At the end of the forum, recommendations were given to change the narrative. We hope this national forum won't be just like any other forum, where the whole goal is to meet and discuss without implementing the recommendations. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Bosonko.
Jenna Bosonko there. Now, the Minister of Aviation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Gambia's Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources on Saturday presided over the graduation ceremony of 29 officials who underwent an intensive training on meteorology. And Sumane Isonyase reports.
Addressing graduates, Senator Hadi Sirika, Nigeria's Minister of Aviation, stressed the importance of seeking knowledge and enjoined them to continue pursuing career-changing courses to make an impact in their respective areas of specialization. While commending the Gambia government for their commitment to the DWR and NIMET Memorandum of Understanding, he also reiterated his ministry's commitment to supporting the Gambia's special and capacity development.
To draw your attention to the importance of knowledge, and I'm going to make reference to the two books, the two holy books, Al-Quran Al-Karim. The very first word uttered to mankind by God is read. Iqra means seek for knowledge, and you can never go wrong. It's only with knowledge that we're able to go to the moon, we're able to discover the most tiniest particle organism that are affecting our health and deal with them.
In his keynote address, James F.P. Gomez, Minister of Fisheries, Water Resources and National Assembly Matters, thanked the Nigerian government for their continued support and partnership. He says since its establishment in March 1985, The Department of Water Resources Training School has trained over 500 students, adding that this is the first time such level of training is being conducted in the Gambia under the MOU. He also shared words of encouragement for the graduates.
You have spent time, you have spent energy, you have spent treasure, you have burned the night candle to achieve what is happening today. We expect that you will be change agents. Your culture toward works is very important to us and to this country. We can only develop Gambia if Gambians roll their sleeves and work hard.
Director General of Nigerian Meteorological Agency, Professor Mansour Bako Matazu, says the strong partnership between the Department of Fisheries and its agency will further foster regional meteorological training as encouraged by the World Meteorological Agency, and gave assurance of its agency's preparedness to always support their Gambian counterparts.
WMO is very much interested in South-South collaboration, that we don't stay in Africa and look for solution to our problem elsewhere. And that is why they encourage us, especially African countries. We look among ourselves and also try to solve some of our solutions among ourselves, because we have homogeneity of climate, we have homogeneity of environment, and we have also homogeneity of culture.
Other speakers included the principal of the school and the director of the Department of Water Resources, who both highlighted the importance of such capacity-building programs. Masane Kamara, one of 4 students who were awarded certificates and scholarships for their outstanding performance, delivered the vote of thanks. 17 of the 29 students admitted for the course during the 2018-2019 and 2019-2020 intakes graduated, and each received a certificate signaling the end of what has been months of intensive training on meteorology, especially on reducing climate and weather-related hazards. Answane Sonyasi for Qtv News.
We will take a short commercial break. Still to come, we have more local stories. International and sports news follows. To stay tuned.
Your favorite mobile service has done it again. Now you can buy cash power with your QMoney account free of charge. Yes, you heard me right. For free. Nothing is cheaper than free. So start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services QMoney has to offer. With QMoney, life is easy. Visit your nearest QMoney agent to cash in or call customer care on 133 for more information. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap after handling cash. Stay home, stay clean, stay safe. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Now, Action Aid International, the Gambia, and Activista, in collaboration with the European Union over the weekend, launched an awareness creation and civic education project called Building Democratic Culture and Tolerance to help youth and women defend rights violations and participate in decision-making processes. Al-Hassan Bar reports.
Under this project, Action Aid International, the Gambia, was supported to implement activities such as community and school sensitization, town hall meetings, youth convergence, among others, to strengthen the peaceful coexistence between communities in all the regions of the country. Fode Kanye, the Action Aid representative, says the 2-year project aims to increase youth and women representation in political leadership in all sectors of our society.
Funding kewol ni musoli mbewol fahamundi la nyaadile pour memu ila nyantoti isi wol kanino nyamen banko kan.
We are going to train youths and women to know and exercise their rights. It is a 2-year project countrywide at a cost of $11 million. Action Aid has contributed 10% of the funds and the EU contributed 90%. We organize sensitization programs on civic rights and responsibilities.
Doko dole faral be sotorin banko kan me alon ko nka wolke ata kodo kono wala mu nyinti ko wol dol fan kono nyimbe bi beng bu wolle kono pour ka futa sate wolto ini mol sikacha e ka fo men civic rights and responsibilities.
Nuruddin Bai from the regional office of the ombudsman in Mantakonko explains the basic principles of democracy.
Burma follow democracy muka democracy balundi wolon political tolerance chief ya fo janne. The
first foundation for democracy is political tolerance. That involves having patience and forgiveness. We are all different and support different political parties. To coexist, we have to respect each other's opinion. Insulting each other may end up in a fight. Therefore, we should promote political tolerance.
Mama Tunkara, a participant, says women play a significant role in building societies. She urges men to also give chance to women to take part in leadership roles in communities.
Men should allow women to be part of decision-making processes. We bear children, look after them, and we are the pillars of our homes. We need a chance.
Youth and women account for more than half of the population of the Gambia. Almost 60% of the population is under the age of 25, which is likely to persist because the country's total fertility rate remains high, at nearly 4 children per woman. It is very important to include them in all leadership sectors to strengthen the Gambia's democratic processes. 10 committees will be engaged throughout Lower River region through awareness creation campaign. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alassamba.
In other news, a major fire on Wednesday engulfed a building at Gamcott in Manchester Street at Basemane Kunda, destroying the structure. Alhaji A.F. Jallo reports.
An old house in Gamcott, the former cotton factory at Manchester Street in Basemane Kunda, caught fire on Wednesday at around 5 o'clock in the evening. It is believed the fire started due to an electrical fault. Neighbors quickly arrived on the scene and tried to quench the fire, but could not save the house from being destroyed. Mr. Idrissa Korita, the fire victim, said he was lost for words when he was called not long after he left his house just to be told that his house was on fire.
I went out to the radio, but on my way, my neighbor called me. That is precisely around 4:45, and he asked what is happening in my house, whether I left some people because there's a lot of smoke coming from my house. I said, no, I cannot remember leaving anybody in my house. There is, in fact, no one in my house because I locked my house right now. Because when I was leaving, my neighbor was coming in. So that's how I rushed in. I came and I found the whole house on fire. And I'm dumbfounded. I don't even know how the whole thing started, and it's definitely shocking for me.
Mr. Korita, who is the Regional Coordinator for National Aid Secretariat, NAS, in URR, is appealing for support as all his belongings and other valuables were consumed by the inferno.
Well, that's me. And all what I had, I've lost it. At the field level here, my family is all the way in Brikama, and I know they are also devastated. Psychologically, they are disturbed, they are worried. But back home here in Basse, I have nothing. These are the few clothes I have. That's my shirt and my trouser, my shoes. They are all burnt. These are the few, the set I have. I have to struggle around to get what to wear to go to work tomorrow because I have to go to work if I'm able to put things in order. I have no house. I hope our governor will be able to look out for a place for me to lay my head or my neighbors. And yeah, whoever is able to support me, fine. But that's the situation.
According to eyewitness Idrissa Jassi, the incident caught them by surprise.
Dimbala bonyi aintel terrain because nyamuna ke baloti na beke sidlu akile nage kacha nage ko beke nyokande.
The destruction caused by the fire is unimaginable. This came as a surprise. Idrissa is a good neighbor. We do a lot of things together. Every time he closes from work, we always have a meal together at the garage. As we speak, all his belongings were consumed by the fire. Apart from the clothes he was wearing, we tried our best to put off the fire, but it was to no avail. According to Korita, at the time the house was burnt, there was $40,000 shikas and other valuables. This is yet another fire that has left someone totally distraught and homeless. For QTV News, I am Alaji A.F. Jallo.
Now on to international news. The Nigerian Army chief and 10 other military officers died in a plane crash near the Kaduna International Airport on Friday evening. Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru was on an official visit to the northern state of Kaduna, which has had security challenges in recent months. The presidency said in a statement. Mobudula Minchoy reports.
Tragedy has struck Nigeria at a time when the country is battling an insurgency that has killed thousands. The crash occurred 3 months after a small Nigerian Air Force passenger plane went down just outside Abuja airport following alleged engine failure, killing all 7 on board. In January, after years of mounting criticism over spreading violence by Islamist insurgents and armed gangs, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari, in a major reshuffle in the military, appointed Ibrahim Attahiru alongside other military chiefs. Reacting to the tragic incident in a statement, the president said the plane crash was one mortal blow to our underbelly at a time our armed forces are poised to end the security challenges facing the country. Daily Trust, a Nigerian newspaper, had quoted a military source who had expressed shock about the incident as saying that the deceased army chief observed the Jumu'ah prayer before he hastily embarked on his journey. We prayed alongside him in the afternoon. We greeted him. He answered, but moved on hastily, the military source revealed to the Daily Trust. Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru had once been in charge of leading the frontline offensive against Sikawo's Boko Haram fighters in the northeast in 2017. Attahiru Ibrahim was the 21st Chief of Army Staff of the Nigerian Army. He had a tour of duty with the United Nations in Sierra Leone as a military observer, where he facilitated United Kingdom military engagement Operation Barras in September 2000. He was an operation officer and later company commander in the ECOMOG operations in Liberia. Also confirming the incident, the Director of Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Edward Gabquet, said that the immediate cause of the crash is still being ascertained and that more details surrounding the plane crash is to follow soon. This latest plane crash marks 20 loss of lives of military officers in just 3 months, involving Nigeria's Air Force planes. The latest incident involved the Chief Army of Staff, 6 Army officers and 4 crew members. In February, 7 people died in an aircraft that crashed near Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. 2 crew members were also in a NAF Alpha fighter jet that went missing in the northeast Borno State, where there was an ongoing counter-insurgency operation in April. Recommending a solution, an aviation expert, Captain Alex Wuba, said the frequency of the crashes involving military plane called for increased collaboration between the military and civil aviation authorities. However, he said this would depend largely on order from above. In paying tribute to the family of the deceased, the military and Nigerians in general and President Buhari described them as heroes who paid the ultimate price for peace and security in the land. Also, Nigeria's governors, members of the House of Representatives and the Senate have been paying tribute to the family of the deceased. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, Qtv News.
In sports news. Gambian judoka Faye has bagged a silver medal and secured an Olympic qualification ticket in the African Judo Championship in Dakar on Friday. Our sports reporter Mobutu Gajaga had been monitoring his progress and he now reports.
For the second time in succession, Faye has registered his name among the top judokas in Africa, competing in the 73-kilogram category at the African Judo Championship in Dakar. Not only did he win silver, thereby boosting his ranking in the continent, he secures the all-important qualification ticket to the Tokyo Games. This is how he reacted to the achievement.
Yesterday was a very good day for me. I felt like I was well prepared, and from the very first fight, I felt like today is the day for me. And unfortunately, the final wasn't like I wanted to be, but still a silver medal is good for it was very important for the qualification.
Njai, who was a bronze medal winner at the 2015 Africa Games in Brazzaville, won his silver medal in style, winning all the way to the final in several rounds before losing to Algerian Nouri Fati in an intense battle.
This was the 3rd silver medal for me, so I was really expecting this time to win the gold medal. but yeah, there will be another time for that.
Despite his qualification, Fai says he wants to continue working hard to be in better shape with other competitions. He now joins sprinter Gina Bass as the second Gambian to have secured an Olympic Games qualification ticket.
After 2-3 weeks, I will have another competition, actually World Championships in Budapest, and this will work as the final competition and preparation for the Olympic Games. But after the World Championships, I will do another Olympic training camp as a preparation for Tokyo, and after that I will just rest my mind and my body and prepare myself for the biggest event.
Judo may not get much of a mention in the Gambian sports media, but it is one of the few sports that has brought accolades such as medals at the continental stage and puts our country on the global sporting map. Perhaps Njai's latest achievement may be part of the process towards changing that. Mamudu Gajaga, Qtv News.
Well, congratulations to him. Before we end this bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories. TRRC commissioners, accompanied by two of ex-President Jammeh's former junglers, have visited alleged graveyards and killing sites in Fonyi. As part of efforts to address Gambia's appalling road traffic statistics, the National Youth Parliament and the Ministry of Transport held their first joint road safety forum. Nigeria's Aviation Minister and the Gambia's Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources presided over the graduation ceremony of 29 officials who trained on meteorology. In international news, Nigeria's Army Chief and 10 other military officers perished in a plane crash near the Kaduna International Airport on Friday evening. In sports news, Gambia judoka Fai Njai has won a silver medal and secured an Olympic qualification ticket in the African Judo Championship in Dakar, Senegal. Well, that's it from me in tonight's edition. Thank you for watching and have a good evening.